Welcome in, everybody, to the 423 Football Podcast, and the Week 8 Bye-apocalypse is here. It is time. It is time.
Tough.
I'm
bleeding players.
It's every league I have. It's brutal, brutal. I know, or Peyton's for one.
That one's the worst one I think I've seen.
I don't think I've ever seen a bye week hit someone that bad. He may
have to pick up an entire roster from the waiver wire.
He honestly is going to have to just have open roster spots. Yeah. There's no way.
No.
But yeah, it's going to be a rough week. I'm your host, Brandon Bouchard, joined here again by Brett Hamilton.
Hello.
And like I said, Week 8 preview show today. We're going to go through the matchups, go through the starts and sits at the end. If you listen to our previous show, we talked a lot about waiver wire ads because obviously you're going to need them this week and who you could possibly drop to get those waiver wire ads. So definitely go back and check out that show. If you listen to the last one as well, you know that we had a beer on the episode. This episode is going to actually have another beer. We got the... Or what is it? I was about to say streaming. I'm in the football mindset. Yeah. The Screaming Cock.
Screaming Cock. We've got a picture of a rooster on the label.
It's a cock. Be proper, Brett.
Yeah. Well, it's a rooster, and it's a pale ale from Blackberry Farm Brewing. I like it.
Yeah, we'll see. I picked this one out. Well, last show I picked out Lagunitas because I liked Lagunitas.
Yeah.
I picked this one out because the can is dope and the name Screaming Cock.
You can't get away from that.
Oh,
this one's from Florida.
That good pop.
Yeah,
good pop sound.
I can't taste the blackberries, but it is good.
It is definitely a pale ale.
Yeah, it's a little pale.
Yeah, you can't taste the blackberries. I don't think every beer they have is produced with blackberries.
Well, it's literally called Blackberry Farm. So, what else do they have on there?
They have cocks. It's made with real cocks.
It's made with real roosters.
Real roosters. All right. Yeah, so we're going to be sipping on this throughout the show. Again, it's Screaming Cock from Blackberry Farm Brewery, sorry.
It's a mouthful, but I still like the name.
If you want to go and purchase this beverage. And once again, we do not take money or are sponsored by these guys. Nope. We just like drinking beer. This is going to make us sound like alcoholics, but I'd rather be an alcoholic than sued for taking money without...
But honestly, who doesn't like drinking beer and talking about football?
That's America
I have no problem with that.
That's just America. You just give me a slice of apple pie and we're good to go.
Oh my gosh.
There was a... I can't remember the name of the brewery, but when I was buying all these beers, there was one brewery, they had like a cherry pie, a pecan pie, and an apple pie.
I've seen that. I don't know what that is. Maybe we'll have to feature that on next week's episode or something like that. I'd try it.
Yeah, but
it's worth a try.
Talk about America.
Hey, just tune in next week, and that might be the beer of the week.
Yeah. All right, before we jump into the previews of the matchups, if you listen a few weeks back, it's probably been like a month now. I think it was
like week 3 or something like that.
Yeah, we did a running back redraft for like the rest of the season. And I kind of want to do another running back redraft, but this week we're going to do a wide receiver redraft. So this is going to be rest of the season. I need do we have like a coin or something to see who's going to go first, me or you? We'll play rock, paper, scissors.
Okay.
Ready? One round.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, Brandon goes first.
And off the board first.
I know exactly who you're going to pick.
We're taking Antonio Brown.
Why, though?
Well, he's the best receiver to grace the football field.
Man, if you just go on YouTube and just look up his highlight reels just from week to week, it's just incredible.
You don't even need to do that. Just watch any game.
Yeah, just say Antonio Brown video. It's incredible.
All right, who you taking?
I am gonna go.
Because honestly, my pick was
pretty. Yeah.
Honestly, my first pick was closer than you'd think between two guys. Antonio and one other person in particular. So if you don't take this person, I'm going to be thrilled.
I am really honest. Oh man, this is a lot harder than I thought it was going to be.
And obviously, we don't have Odell Beckham the rest of the season. That obviously hurts.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Mike Evans.
Mike Evans,
Yeah,
really?
I'm gonna say Mike
you
Evans.
Homer.
Yeah,
you Homer.
Call me whatever you want, but I think rest of season, why not? He's done it in every game so far.
I do agree with that. He obviously, even against the Bills, who hadn't given up a touchdown to a wide receiver, he took that streak away.
Man, God,
that was a beautiful catch.
Talk about dragging the toes. That was incredible.
And yeah, I mean, I can see it. Mike Evans going forward. So my guy, roll Tide, baby. Roll Tide. Julio Jones.
Okay.
It's not even,
right.
honestly, I was considering taking him number 1 because
Really?
I think I think Dan Quinn and Sarkisian finally somewhat woke up and said, "Hey, we got to get this guy the ball."
The problem that I have with that is Matt Ryan has not looked good this year throwing the ball.
I understand that, but neither is. I mean, Jameis hasn't looked phenomenally either. Ben hasn't even looked phenomenal.
And fantasy production, Jameis has though.
I agree with that.
I mean, they lost to the Bills. He did awful in the first half, and everyone blamed it on his shoulder. And then he comes out and has his best game. Best stats of the season.
He looked good last week. But I mean, there's plenty of wide receivers that can dominate without good quarterbacks.
That's true. Antonio Brown. I mean, doesn't matter who's throwing the ball.
Yeah, I mean, Ben's been fine. Ben has been fine.
Been fine.
Been fine. But obviously, his road home splits are very real. So
yeah, that's true.
All right, who you got next? Number 4.
I am gonna go with AJ Green.
I like it. Yeah, I think he's definitely. If I was gonna make a top 4 right now, it would be some sort of this group right here: Antonio Brown, Mike Evans, Julio, AJ Green. I don't really know. I mean, I don't really know if this would be the exact order.
Right.
But yeah, I like that going forward. Now, the rest of them. It's getting dicey now.
I know for an absolute fact who I would pick right now. So I'm really interested to see who you.
So well, obviously Odell's not going to be in this list. He's going to be done for the year. Jordy's been downgraded a ton. I don't even know if he'll be in the top 10 on this list. Surprisingly, as much as that hurts me to say, but I think I'm going to go with DeAndre Hopkins.
That's exactly who I was going to pick. I don't even think it's close. I mean, who are you comparing him to?
I don't know. I was just I was going through. I had 3 guys. I was going between Dez Bryant, Michael Thomas, DeAndre Hopkins, and I was just like, who's going to get more targets? And DeAndre Hopkins.
You have to go
with
the number 1 targeted wide receiver in the NFL. I mean, you have to believe in what Deshaun Watson's doing. I mean, it's going to be. We'll get into this in the Week 8 preview, but it's going to be tough this week facing the Seahawks, and that'll be a really interesting matchup. But I got to go with Hopkins at this point.
Yeah, I do like Hopkins quite a bit. Who you got coming in at number 6?
I'm going to go Michael Thomas over Dez Bryant.
Yeah, I like that.
I like what Drew Brees is doing this year. I mean, their defense has really stepped up. I don't know if they're quite elite tier yet. I got to see if the trend continues, but that's only going to help. That's only going to help Drew Brees in that offense. It may hurt him. I mean, if they're not playing from behind all every week like they were last year, I mean, I don't know what.
Or Ted Ginn's becoming the number 1.
Oh my gosh!
All right. So yeah, Michael Thomas comes in at number 6. I'm gonna go with. I know I was saying Dez, but actually, I still have some worry with Dez. He still has some tough matchups.
That's true.
Even though last week against the 49ers, I mean, I know how tough they are. How he did pretty well, but I'm gonna go Doug Baldwin. I really believe in Russell Wilson and Doug Baldwin, especially in the second half of the season.
Golly, they had such a great comeback game, or he had such a great rejuvenation game this past week, and he just looked great. He looked exactly like how he should be. He should have been looking the first 7 weeks.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go Dez Bryant.
DB.
I don't think there's anyone else in that
tier.
I think that kind of ends that tier for me.
Yeah. I guess we kind of have to the argument of bye weeks. You kind of have to factor that in because the guys who still have to serve their bye week are going to be downgraded somewhat.
Yeah.
I don't know. Brandon Cooks is sitting there, but I'm not a big Brandon Cooks believer. I still think I'd still.
He's still got his bye week coming up, too.
And I'd still take Chris Hogan over him. I mean, I'm not going to take him right here, but I'd put him in that range. I don't really like Keenan Allen that much. Amari, I don't expect to keep doing what he did.
What he did was amazing.
Yeah, I would take Jordy, but I have to see something from Brett Hundley first.
Yeah, that's true.
God, this is tough. I don't know. I'm gonna go with Tyreek Hill.
Okay, that's pretty bold.
Yeah, I just think they use him and put him in situations to succeed so much that he's pretty much matchup proof. He's honestly, people say he's boom or bust like Brandon Cooks, but I think Tyreek Hill, he just gets so much. He's more of a focal point of the offense than Brandon Cooks is.
Right.
So I like Tyreek Hill a little more than Brandon Cooks moving forward.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good take.
And last pick, 10th pick,
Keenan Allen. I know you were just kind of wavering on him, but he's targeted second most in the league next to DeAndre Hopkins. That offense has struggled. He doesn't have a touchdown on the year yet, but when you're the second most targeted wide receiver in the league, the touchdowns will come. We're into that middle of the year, like where everything is gonna level out to the mean, and he should score touchdowns. So I think going forward, he's my number 10.
All right. You know what? Screw it, because there's so many more wide receivers. They're going to do 5 more picks. You down with that?
That's fine. I don't even care.
All right. At number 11, I'm gonna go with Amari Cooper here.
You just wanted to talk about Amari Cooper.
No. I think that he's going to be. I don't expect 44 points every week, but
you don't expect 210 yards and 2 touchdowns every single game?
No, not even close to that, honestly. But I do think he's going to hopefully be more consistent.
He had 19 targets in that game. 19! That's an astronomical number.
Hey, as long as he can catch the ball, which that has been a problem.
He had 19 targets and only brought in 11. So
he's one of the best separators in the league.
He is. Yeah.
He's one of the best talents in the league at the wide receiver position, in my opinion. Honestly, I think he's very similar to Brandon Cooks.
Yeah.
I think Amari still has the size, but he's kind of boom or bust. Has a little bit of a drop issue. Brandon Cooks doesn't have it near of the drop issue that Amari does. No. But I do like Amari.
And we're talking about a third-year wide receiver.
Yeah.
He's had a better start to his career than Calvin Johnson. He's had a better start to his career than Jerry Rice. I mean, we're talking about an elite level talent. Mm-hmm. But it's a mind game for him, and if he can jump that hurdle, I mean, I'm saying it's just off to the races for him.
Yeah. All right, number 12. Who you got?
Oh, let's see. I'm gonna go with. I'm still gonna. I don't know if this is out on a limb or not, but compared to everything else, all the other options out here, I'm gonna go Jordy Nelson.
Jordan Nelson. I mean,
yeah.
It's kind of hard.
I don't think Brett Hundley's going to have 90 passing yards every game going forward. And they've got a bye week this week, so they're going to have 2 weeks to prepare to say, okay, this is a full game of what went wrong. And then we've got 2 weeks to prepare for the next game. So I think the production is going to be there the next game.
Yeah, I do think the Packers or Jordy I'm not really buying into Randall Cobb being part of that offense much at all.
Unfortunately not.
Devontae and Jordy, obviously, they're going down a tier. I think you drop them at least between, 10 to 15 spots in your position rankings.
Yeah.
So, I guess this is somewhat... Yeah, this is a good spot to have him because Jordy was number, he was 2 or 3 in the rankings before Aaron went down.
Right.
Number 13.
It's getting tough.
It is getting tough. There's a name. There's 3 guys.
There's a name.
There is a name. There is a player I will pick. None of them are consistent. That's the thing.
No, we're getting into the very inconsistent wide receiver plays.
You know what? I'm gonna go with Stephon Diggs.
Really?
What? I'm going with Stephon Diggs. I think.
Oh man.
Well, I think
he's so hurt though.
Yeah. Obviously, he's dealing with a groin injury. They already had their bye week, right? Or did they?
No.
They haven't.
No.
Well, either way, I already picked him, so it's too late. I probably would have picked someone else otherwise. But Stephon Diggs,
the bye week is week 9.
Yeah, I think he's a bit streaky. I think he's going to do a lot better moving forward. I still like Adam Thielen, but Case Keenum, I don't think we're going to see Sam Bradford play again this year. I think Case Keenum's going to be...
Oh, we've got the Teddy Bridgewater.
Case Keenum and then Teddy Bridgewater coming back. So I like Stephon Diggs as... It's almost like a high upside pick moving forward.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Fair enough. This one's kind of painful not because of him, but because of the quarterback play. But I'm going to go Demaryius Thomas.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I don't. It's painful. It is painful.
I'm going to... At number 15, I'm taking Brandon Cooks now because...
Really?
Well,
fair enough. Yeah,
well, this is fine. Like you said, the quarterback play. This is the point where the quarterback play drastic. Aside from their talent, their receivers' talent, it drastically falls off. And in the Tom Brady led offense, even if Brandon Cooks isn't the first or second target, he's still going to have value. Obviously, even last game, it wasn't even a pass technically. I mean, technically it was, but
and actually, I'm actually pretty surprised we didn't pick Brandon Cooks earlier.
I was deciding between him and Stephon Diggs.
Okay,
that's where I had him. Honestly, if I would have, if I could look back because I think the Vikings and the Patriots still have their bye week coming up.
Yeah.
I probably would have gone Brandon Cooks, but I thought Stephon Diggs already had his bye week, so that's just stupidity on my part.
So let's just before we move on into the Week 8 preview. I mean, there's not a whole lot of games this week, so it's not going to take a whole lot of time. Let's talk about the players that we left out of the top 15. We left out Chris Hogan.
Yes.
We left out Michael Crabtree.
That one's close to me.
You put Amari Cooper over Crabtree rest of season?
Yeah, I still think Amari's the better talent, and I think he has. I don't know. I think they're going to start looking towards him more. If I probably put Crabtree over Stephon Diggs. I don't know why I took Stephon Diggs, really. Now, looking back on that, it kind of makes me cringe.
Looking back, I probably wouldn't pick Demaryius Thomas because
that one's awful. I don't like that.
Well, okay.
It's no worse than Stephon Diggs.
No, I mean, yeah, it's just that's solely based on the downside of Trevor Siemian.
Yeah, Kelvin Benjamin we left out too. I like him moving forward. His schedule is super, super easy. Who else did we leave out? Larry, no, he wouldn't have been up there because Carson Palmer's done for the year. I don't know. I think we did pretty well other than that. Alshon, maybe?
Yeah,
maybe. T.Y. Hilton,
Hilton, yeah. No. I mean, that just because of the quarterback play.
Yeah. I think we did. That's a good top 15. I'll run through it one more time. Antonio Brown, Mike Evans, Julio, AJ Green, DeAndre Hopkins, Michael Thomas, Dez Bryant, Doug Baldwin, Tyreek Hill, Keenan Allen, Amari Cooper, Jordy Nelson. I'm already taking him out. Michael Crabtree, not Stephon Diggs. And then Brandon Cooks. I'm taking Demaryius Thomas out of there too because
I will say okay.
I think we made a mistake there.
The fantasy expert rankings have Demaryius Thomas listed as number 15 rest of season. So I'm not the only one.
Okay.
Our list is pretty comparable. The only ones that we left out. We didn't leave out anyone. Chris Hogan.
Chris Hogan. That's what I was saying.
He's according to the 23 fantasy football experts, he should be in the top 15.
I'm pretty sure when I was talking about who I would take, Stephon Diggs or Brandon Cooks, I said Chris Hogan. Yeah. So I don't know if I just went brain dead or something.
Yeah.
Because
no, I mean that's fair.
I like Chris Hogan more. I really do.
Yeah, I mean, the argument can be made either way for him.
All right, so that's our wide receiver redraft. Again, I do want to do another running back one just to compare it to the one we did a few weeks ago, just to see where it's at this point. Mm-hmm. So we might do that in a later show.
Yeah, I like that.
All right, jumping into the Week 8 matchups preview. Like we said, it's the bye week from hell. We
awful.
got 6 teams on bye. Packers, Titans, Rams, Giants, Cardinals, and Jaguars.
Oh, Todd Gurley, where are you?
Leonard Fournette, where are you? Oh my gosh, it's a rough week.
It is. Yeah.
A lot of these teams really need a bye. I will say that. A lot of injuries.
The Packers need a bye.
Titans need a bye.
Titans desperately need a bye. The Rams don't really.
No.
The Giants, they need to figure something out.
Cardinals do. They don't have a quarterback.
Cardinals bye week, it couldn't have been timed better.
Yeah, and Jags, Leonard Fournette's still kind of dealing with his thing. And maybe D.D. Westbrook will get back. I don't know.
Yeah.
But, yeah, a lot of... I don't know why they do this. I don't know why. I mean, there's got to be a reason, like a scheduling thing.
I don't know why they do that either.
I mean, we know...
Actually, the Dolphins and Buccaneers were scheduled to have their Week 8 byes this week, so that would have been even worse.
It would have been 8 teams.
It would have been 8 teams out this week.
And there were 2 last week.
But they missed the Week 1 because of the whole hurricane thing, and they had to reschedule, so they don't get a bye week going forward.
But in theory, there would have been 8 and then 2 the previous week.
Why? Why couldn't you spread that out?
I guess the scheduling. I mean, you got to think.
I really have no idea why they do that.
I mean, there's scheduling. There's where the teams are playing, home and away. Obviously, Giants and Jets are playing in the same stadium, and Chargers and Rams playing in the same stadium. We got London games, which we have our last London game this week. We'll get into that here in a minute.
Yep.
But jumping right into the matchups, Dolphins and Ravens, Thursday Night Football. Matt Moore is going to start this game. I think it's going to be pretty much... I don't think it's really going to downgrade anybody that Matt Moore is playing instead of Jay Cutler.
I mean, how can you say Matt Moore's a downgrade from Jay Cutler?
At worst,
it's the same. It's more of the same.
And Matt Moore has just as a track record with these guys than Jay Cutler does.
Oh, yeah.
I like Jay Ajayi in this game. I like Jarvis Landry. It's kind of a tough matchup. Ravens have been pretty decent. Devontae Parker is dealing with an ankle injury. We're going to have to monitor that. He was practicing Tuesday. Yeah, he was practicing Tuesday. So we'll just have to look or keep an eye on that. I don't really like Devontae Parker in this game.
No, it's not a good matchup. No, especially coming off the injury.
Yeah, coming off the injury. Jimmy Smith, new quarterback. Tough. I think Kenny Stills and Jarvis Landry have okay games. Don't like Devontae Parker.
Right.
On the Ravens side of the ball, are you starting any Ravens?
If I had to, because of bye weeks.
Yeah, we're going to have to.
I would start Collins in Standard.
Yeah.
And Buck Allen in PPR.
And that's pretty much the extent of it. Any wide receivers?
No. I mean...
No.
Do you have anyone?
Well, Mike Wallace is in the concussion protocol.
Yeah.
Jeremy Maclin isn't doing anything.
He's irrelevant.
Yeah. Joe Flacco is awful. So yeah,
accurate. He's terrible.
Not liking any Ravens. So with that being said, I got the Dolphins winning this one.
Yeah, I do have the Dolphins winning. It's not. I mean, I think it's going to be a good game.
Yeah, I think it's going to be close, but Dolphins have looked pretty good actually.
Yeah, I think Matt Moore comes out guns a-blazing.
Tied for first place, Dolphins. Let that be clear.
Yeah, let's move on from that.
All right, Vikings and Browns. Like I said before, last London game. This is going to be It's going to be a 9:30 game. We had a London game last week, I believe.
Yes, 9:30 Eastern time.
But it wasn't in the morning.
No, it actually started at 1:00 Eastern time.
Yeah,
so it was like a 1:00
surprising.
Game.
Yeah. But yeah, this one's going to start at 9:30. So
if you live in California, set your clocks to 6:30 a.m. to get up and watch some football.
If you got Vikings players, be aware. If you have Browns players, it doesn't matter. Because they're probably not going to produce anyway. So who do you expect to start at QB for both teams in this game?
Case Keenum. I read a report or a article on Bleacher Report via Pro Football Talk that Bridgewater is not going to play in London. They don't want to rush him back.
He's not going to travel.
Playing in London. That's a terrible first week back. So Case Keenum's going to start for the Vikings. The Browns just take a coin flip. I mean,
it doesn't really matter.
No.
If you're looking at no, you're not looking at anyone for this game to stream.
No,
because
absolutely
the Vikings
not.
defense is very, very good. But I think Kaiser's going to start. I wish they would just...
I wish they'd pick one.
I wish they would have just left it be from the beginning. Just no Kaiser, no Hogan. Cody Kessler is an okay quarterback.
Yeah. I would say, I don't know why they're giving him the shaft.
I don't either. Cody Kessler, I think, can be very formidable. I think he could have ran this Browns team a little bit better than it has been.
And they might have been able to pull out one win.
Yeah. You mentioned Teddy Bridgewater. How close do you think it is to actually seeing him play?
Well, I want to say, when's their bye week? Week 9. I would say week 10, we could look at a Teddy Bridgewater starting. Now, their coach did come out and say that it's no guarantee that he gets the spot. So that's kind of up in the air. But
that's bullcrap.
Yeah, I still think...
if he's ready, I think he's going to play.
I think that was more of the coach being kind of elusive and trying to motivate his team. I think Teddy Bridgewater starts week 9. Week 10. So he's not going to start on the bye week, unfortunately.
Better hope not. That's a good week to get injured up there. Stephon Diggs, we mentioned it earlier in our wide receiver draft. He's dealing with a groin injury, so we're going to have to monitor that. Otherwise, I love Stephon Diggs and Adam Thielen in this game. Jason McCourty might be out again for the Browns. McCourty's been actually the number 1 cornerback in Pro Football Focus.
Yeah, that's true.
But I really don't think...
Very quietly.
Yeah, I don't think it matters in this game.
No.
Latavius Murray or Jerick McKinnon? Who are you picking?
We had this conversation before the podcast started. I'm gonna go Latavius Murray. Based on he out-touched Jerick McKinnon this last game. I know that was one game.
Recency bias?
No, it's not recency bias because Latavius Murray was rushed back from an injury whenever Dalvin Cook went down. They had to use him, so they put him in, and he looked like a corpse. But he did terrible. He was way outperformed by Jerick McKinnon. But they still used him. He still got the touches, even though he was awful. So they want to use him, and they're going to keep using him. And this past week, he showed that he appears to me to be healthy. And the Browns are a tough run D. They haven't allowed very many yards per carry. They haven't allowed very many touchdowns. Have they allowed any touchdowns?
I think they allowed one to Frank Gore.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But I still think that just based on the amount of touches, I think they're still going with Latavius Murray.
All right. Now on the Browns side of the ball, confidence in starting any Browns.
Honestly, at this point, not okay. The only player that I could imagine starting if you had to because of bye weeks, like we're going to say for every matchup, is Duke Johnson. He has the upside potential. He hasn't been performing the past couple of weeks.
Great in PPR, especially with the buys.
If PPR, he's definitely a flex option. But for standard, it's kind of down there. But if you have to,
taking the Vikings.
I think I'm gonna bet on the Vikings.
I haven't even checked the pick'em rankings. Are you still dominating?
Beating you by 120.
Am I gaining? I don't even know if I'm gaining.
No,
I feel like I'm falling.
You lost one this week.
That's not good. All right, Raiders and Bills. Raiders finally starting to look like the team we thought they would be. Bills coming off a hard-fought win over the Buccaneers. Sorry, Brett.
That game's just tough to talk about.
Obviously, no Marshawn Lynch isn't going to be in this game. Did they have a...
Who cares?
Well, yeah. Yeah, I guess that pretty much answers your question. Do the Raiders have a Marshawn Lynch problem?
No, I don't think they have a problem.
Well, I think they have a problem in the fact that...
he's suspended.
I just think...
Bad publicity, I guess.
Well, he's going to be back, and they're going to use him as a starter. I think if he's their starter, I honestly think it's a problem. I think they just need to roll with DeAndre Washington and Jalen Richard, these young running backs.
Yeah.
They're talented.
Yeah.
and they fit the offense better than Marshawn Lynch does.
I think that they definitely offer the higher upside potential, but I don't really see either one of them coming in and doing a just incredible job.
I mean, I don't either, but it's better.
Why? I mean, the argument can be like, why not go with the younger guys? But as far as fantasy production, it's just a hand toss. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, but I honestly, I don't. I'd rather have Jalen Richard and DeAndre Washington in fantasy, knowing that Marshawn Lynch will be out, than actually have Marshawn Lynch when he is in.
That's fair enough.
But
in the last episode, I picked DeAndre Washington as someone. If I was going to choose one or the other to target for the waiver wire ads, I picked DeAndre Washington. What would your opinion be?
I like DeAndre Washington. I think he's safer. I think he's going to get goal line. But Jalen Richard, I think he's going to get more third down in between the 20s.
Yeah.
More big play ability than DeAndre Washington.
Is Jalen Richard more of a pass catcher?
Yes.
Yeah. So there's always that upside.
Yeah, that's true.
Especially PPR.
Speaking of pass catchers, obviously Amari Cooper had the big game last week, 44 points in PPR.
That's just an
speaking
average.
of,
that's an average game.
Yeah, speaking of, I want to mention in our ESPN league, I won, surprisingly. I would have been mad if I didn't, but I left Amari Cooper, who had 44 on the bench, and I left Aaron Jones, who had, I think, like 23 on the bench.
You didn't play Aaron Jones?
I didn't play either of them.
I played Aaron Jones in our Chef's League.
But I still won, but I left, like, I think my bench outscored my actual team. It was bad. But anyway, do you think Amari can keep this up?
I mean, if you're asking me if he's going to score 210 yards and 2 touchdowns every week, no.
No. Well, I drafted him as wide receiver 11 in our redraft. Do you think he can produce top 15 wide receiver numbers going forward?
I would.
Consistently?
Consistently, no. He's got a rough matchup this week. Traveling to
Buffalo?
Buffalo. Buffalo's been pretty stingy on their receiving yards and touchdowns. But the Buccaneers actually did pretty well in that category.
Yeah, but it seems like the trend for covering Raiders wide receivers has been more focused on Crabtree.
Yeah,
and
if that continues, then I think that it's going to be tough going forward because
and Amari's been playing in the slot more.
Are the Bills going to focus on Amari Cooper and then Michael Crabtree just go off and have a day like Amari Cooper? I mean, like he did last week. I don't know.
I mean, it could. I don't know. I still like.
I think he's a top 15 talent. If I had to put him in the top 15, it would be more in the 14 to 15 range.
All right, I think Amari and Crabtree are very, very close in fantasy value. On the Bills side of the ball, Tyrod Taylor, LaShawn McCoy, pretty much the only Bills you want to start. Obviously, the bye weeks.
Nick O'Leary.
Nick O'Leary. I guess if you need a tight end, Nick O'Leary or
He's
Logan
2 for 58 yards.
Logan Thomas.
Yeah.
Logan Thomas.
I know that maybe they're just going to start running two tight end sets all the time.
Logan Thomas was a quarterback for the Cardinals. He was a quarterback for the Cardinals out of Virginia.
Call him back
out of Virginia Tech, and now he's a tight end, and he's like one of the He's one of the better options for the Bills at this point.
Maybe the Cardinals try to trade for him back.
That's beside the point. I got the Bills winning this game, surprisingly. Maybe.
No, I mean, I go with the home Bills.
Bills? All right, Bills will look good. All right, Colts and Bengals. Colts coming off a scoreless performance. We had a few of those, actually. And they look to be without Andrew Luck for the remainder of the season, so not looking good there. While the Bengals continue to underperform, which Colts are worth starting at this point? Obviously, we know Andrew Luck's not going to be with the team probably the rest of the year.
Yeah, I have been saying, obviously T.Y. Hilton, but I don't know if it's even that obvious anymore. I just think he's a high upside wide receiver 3 at this point, which is terrible.
I do want to say, this week in particular, if you are dealing with a lot of bye week disruptions, just start your studs.
Yeah,
even if it's T.Y. Hilton, and obviously it's not been great,
but
start
he's had
your
good
studs.
games with Brissett.
Yeah. Frank Gore, I guess, if you're desperate. Marlon Mack, if you're desperate.
I think Marlon Mack's a sneaky play. I think that they have to be understanding that they need to work him into the game plan. I mean, you can't look at his production and the excitement that he brings into that offense and say, "No, we're just going to bench you for the whole second half." Such as Joe Mixon, who was benched for the whole second half of that game.
Yeah, well, speaking of Joe Mixon, still not getting the workload. Joe Mixon's not getting the workload he needs.
I don't know. I can't explain it.
I don't.
It's an anomaly.
If there's a game for him to really do what he can do, I think it's this one.
Yeah.
But they have to actually give him the ball.
I don't have confidence in the play calling. I don't have confidence in the management of that team.
Well, I think it's going to be a very, very high score or fantasy relevant game for most of the Bengals this week. I think AJ Green has a fantastic game. Yeah. I think Joe Mixon has the best game.
No one can keep up with AJ Green on the Colts.
I think Joe Mixon has the best game of his season. I'm starting to fade on my MVP pick for him. But I hate
because
to say
of the
that.
management.
Because
not
it's the
because
play
of you.
No, it's not because of him. It's not because of Joe Mixon. It's because of the play calling.
Yeah.
But I think Joe Mixon has a good game this week, and I think it's time to trade him after he does. I got the Bengals winning this game handily.
I can't pick the Colts at this point.
All right, Chargers and Patriots. Chargers, like the Raiders, are finally starting to play and produce wins.
It's good to see.
Patriots, I guess, kind of the same. They're starting to look like the Patriots of old.
Yeah.
Melvin Gordon, you're obviously playing him. Phillip Rivers, Keenan Allen, Hunter Henry, rest other Charger receivers. They look to have decent matchups. I kind of like Travis Benjamin and Tyrell Williams. Just obviously, we're going to be mentioning names like
if you got a flyer. I mean, if you have to play a flyer. Why not?
Yeah, we're gonna be mentioning lower tier guys pretty much for all these matchups as possible flex plays. But the Patriots defense, they're looking to be better. I don't know. I still don't have a lot of faith in them because I don't think there's much talent on that defense.
I still don't think they have a good defense. People are going to look to this Falcons-Patriots matchup this past week and say. The Patriots finally figured out what they need to do on defense, but if you really watch that game, the Patriots defense almost the whole game ran like one scheme, and it was like play really deep zone and don't get burned by Julio Jones. And so when you think about that, you think, okay, someone like Tevin Coleman's going to get a lot of targets out of the backfield, a lot of underneath routes. But no, they just kept throwing bombs, and it was a bad showing by Matt Ryan. I mean, the play calling was awful. The offensive scheme, they didn't adjust to that zone defense.
I'll just give you one. Like
it was bad.
Literally, just. I mean, I think the Patriots are. Their defense is going to be better than the first 3 weeks.
Oh
that we
yeah,
saw.
I mean, how do you not?
But I'll just one play from that Falcons Patriots game that just pretty much sums it up. They ran a sweep from the 1 yard line with Taylor Gabriel that went for -4 yards when you have one of the best goal line running backs in the league and Devonta Freeman sitting on the bench. I don't understand.
Yeah, I think that was more on the Falcons' offensive play calling than a step up for the Patriots defense.
Yeah. On the Patriots side of the ball, Chris Hogan, Brandon Cooks. I think Chris Hogan's going to have a decent game here. Brandon Cooks, I think, is going to be shadowed by Casey Hayward. If I was going to pick a guy to be shadowed by Casey Hayward in this game, it would be Brandon Cooks. Yeah. I don't think Brandon Cooks does anything. I think he has maybe 30 yards. I can see 3 catches for 30 yards. I don't think Brandon Cooks does anything in this game. Casey Hayward has been dominant.
He's definitely one of the top, one of the top 3 cornerbacks this year.
Yeah, obviously you're starting Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski.
They're not that good.
Now the running backs for the Patriots, we ranked them last week. I still
like Deion Lewis the best.
Yeah, Deion Lewis, James White, Gillislee, Rex Burkhead. If I was gonna rank them, I think I'd go White, Lewis, Burkhead, and Gillislee at this point. I'm moving Gillislee to the end. especially in PPR.
Well, I think Mike Gillislee is droppable, so he's definitely at the end. But in PPR, I have James White ahead of Deion Lewis. But in standard, I have Deion Lewis ahead of James White.
I like that. I got the Chargers.
Really?
Yeah,
In Foxborough?
I just switched it. I think the Chargers are finally starting to figure things out. Obviously, they had a tough offensive performance last week, but I think Melvin Gordon has a big game. I think they pretty much shut down Brandon Cooks with Casey Hayward. I think it's going to be high scoring, but I think the Chargers actually come out on top.
I think if it's high scoring, then Tom Brady can probably figure out a way to win.
At
home. I got to put my faith in him. I mean, he's going to pull out the win.
I can't argue that. All right, Bears and Saints. Bears actually looking better than people think.
That defense looked really good against the Panthers.
Yes.
So, of course, the Panthers had all kinds of offensive problems. They don't have an identity as an offense yet.
Yeah, but a strong defense and slowly improving offense. Obviously, Trubisky didn't throw, 4 completions? Is that right?
Yeah.
No, seriously.
It was 4. Yeah, that's why I'm laughing. It was 4.
But are you starting – I think Jordan Howard is – and maybe –
You have to.
Jordan Howard's – he's the only –
especially this week.
Yeah. Tariq Cohen maybe in PPR, especially this week.
If you have to, yeah.
Yeah, other than that...
Which I probably will in one league.
Other than that, maybe a tight end from the Bears, Zach Miller.
Maybe.
But maybe.
I don't like it.
On the Saints side of the ball, like I said, Bears, it might be a tougher matchup than people think. I think the Saints are still going to have their way with them. Yeah. Mark Ingram, I have listed as a top 5 running back rest of the season. What do you think about that?
I say fake news.
I don't know. Give me.
Okay, okay. You want like some options?
Yeah, give me 5 running backs you take over him rest of the season.
Le'Veon Bell.
Yes.
Kareem Hunt.
Yes.
Leonard Fournette.
Yes.
Todd Gurley.
No.
Why?
Because I think Gurley's matchups are a little bit harder, and Mark Ingram's finally getting the complete role.
Even with 116 yards against the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Jags don't have that great of a run defense. They have a great pass defense. Their run defense isn't as good as people think.
I mean, the matchups are bad for Todd Gurley, but you can't argue what he's doing.
Oh, no. I mean, he's right. That's very close, but I'm taking Mark Ingram.
I came across one stat this week. Let's see. And granted, his matchups have been pretty favorable this week, but other than the Jags and this past week. The Cardinals actually have a pretty good run defense. Todd Gurley, through 7 games, has 163 PPR points. Last year, the only person to have more than 150 PPR points through Game 7 was David Johnson, and he had 170.
That's a good stat.
He is just dominating. I mean, I understand the whole matchup thing, but he's so involved in the passing game that you can't ignore him.
Yeah, I like that, but I don't know.
But
that
Mark Ingram over him?
That's very close.
I totally disagree, man.
I think Mark Ingram is going to he's going to win people fantasy championships.
What?
Okay, what do you have? You had...
What about Melvin Gordon?
You had... No, I'll take Mark Ingram at this point.
What?
So, yeah, we got Le'Veon... What? You have Le'Veon, Zeke, Gurley, Fournette. Give me one more.
If Zeke plays all games, yeah.
Is that all you said?
That's all I said, but I'd still take Devonta Freeman.
No. I'd take Melvin over him.
Why?
Especially with the play calling.
Why do you like Mark Ingram so much?
I really...
LaShawn McCoy?
Yeah, Mark Ingram.
I totally did. We've got to have some sort of dollar bet going. Like, we got to figure out a way to make this into a dollar bet. This is ridiculous.
Mark, okay, since you were so high on Todd Gurley, how about Mark Ingram or Todd Gurley rest of the season?
Just whichever one finishes with what? More fantasy points?
Yeah, standard scoring.
Just in standard scoring, more fantasy points.
Yes, which is honestly helping you because Ingram's going to catch more balls than Gurley.
Well, Gurley has his bye this week, so he's 1 game behind.
Has Mark already had his?
He had bye week 5.
Well, perfect. Let's do it.
That's not fair.
All right. Starting week Week 9?
Week 9, yeah, starting
Right.
Week 9 going forward.
Week
so
9
level the playing field.
Week 9 on, Mark Ingram has
Or
more
Todd
points than Todd Gurley.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, dollar bet. It's going on the board. All right.
Wow, you're such a homer.
I'm not. I just really...
You love Mark Ingram.
I do because I think he's one of the best running backs in the
that's
league.
Fair enough.
Sean Payton just hates the guy.
He does.
So if Sean Payton starts to hate him at any point, deal's off.
Nope, can't blame it because that's factoring into my rankings.
All right, I'm not even going to mention the last thing. We're getting close. I got the Saints winning this game.
I have the Saints.
All right, Falcons and Jets. Falcons offense vastly underperforming. I think it's more the play calling than anything else. Matt Ryan's been underperforming, but still, I think it's more play calling, trickling down into everything. Jets are playing pretty well. Their defense might be somewhat of a tough matchup for the Falcons. I'm still rolling my Falcons out there. Play your studs in this game. Julio Jones, Devonta Freeman. If you have a better option, I'd kind of stray away from Matt Ryan, honestly. I think we'll mention some streamers and some sleepers later on, which you might consider over Matt Ryan.
Yeah.
But I don't know. He has not looked good. All the pass catchers for the Jets are pretty much, they're getting involved in some form or fashion. So I know rank the top 3 pass catchers for the Jets for right now.
Fair Jenkins.
Yeah,
because he's gonna get the touchdowns.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Jermaine Kearse over Robbie Anderson. Robbie Anderson is seeing more targets than Kearse, but he's not doing anything with them. Jermaine Kearse is getting less targets, but he's producing more in yards per catch and everything. Versus the Patriots, Robbie Anderson had 12 targets, but he only had 4 receptions, and that's not good. That was more than any. That was like astronomically more targets than he's ever had, but he only came down with 4 of them.
All right. I do think Josh McCown is actually a pretty good streamer in this matchup. So,
yeah, I have no problem with that.
Yeah. I got the Falcons winning this game, though.
I do have the Falcons.
All right, 49ers and Eagles. 49ers still winless. Doesn't get any easier in this matchup. Eagles are dominating the NFC. Well, I'll say the NFL, the league at this point. Are all 49ers players pretty much downgraded? Almost no. Pretty much you can't play them with C.J. Beathard as their QB.
Yeah, I think that's a fair take. Everyone besides George Kittle, I think they've got chemistry, man. I believe in the chemistry.
George.
I mean, they were literally roommates. I mean, they like each other. So I think other than that, everyone's got to be downgraded.
Yeah. You kind of have to play Carlos Hyde if you're in a desperate spot here, but I really don't like him in this matchup.
This matchup's going to be tough for him.
Now, on the Eagles side of the ball, Carson Wentz, Eagles pass catchers.
North Dakota tough.
Sorry.
Carson Wentz.
Sorry, we got to... Every time we say Carson Wentz, we got to...
You got to preface it by saying just how tough he is.
He's North Dakota tough. He's a hunting boy. But, yeah... Carson Wentz and the pass catchers there must starts this week.
Zach Ertz, obviously.
Yeah. The running backs, Wendell Smallwood finally got back. Do you like LeGarrette Blount or Smallwood more?
This one was really tough. In the past 3 games, LeGarrette Blount has had 14, 14, and 14 touches. He's been consistent.
That's good. He needs to get in the end zone so he can get that dollar bet from Peyton.
Yes. In the last 3 games that Wendell Smallwood has played in, he's got 12, 10, and 8. So it's going down, but he does have receptions. He was 2 for 14 in receptions and receiving yards against the Redskins. So he does have that upside as a pass catcher. But you can't ignore LeGarrette Blount. I mean, I don't think there's anyone more down than me on LeGarrette
I still
Blount.
think he's a terrible running back.
Yeah, I have no doubt in my mind that he's not very good, but they're giving him the work, and I mean, with the work, he's going to produce.
Yeah, I got the Eagles winning this one.
I do have the Eagles.
Yep, Panthers and Buccaneers, important divisional matchup. If the
crucial.
Buccaneers want to stay in the race,
if they do not want to see their season slip away, just like my fantasy season.
Panthers look abysmal on offense. We talked about was it this episode or last episode? I don't know. They're fusing together.
I think it was last episode.
Yeah, I went on a rant on Cam Newton.
Yeah, it was definitely last episode.
He's basically as streaky as they come when it comes to fantasy football. Kelvin Benjamin, Devin Funchess, Christian McCaffrey. I list Christian McCaffrey in there because this is basically a list of pass catchers. Who do you like the most out of those three guys going forward?
Probably going forward to this week.
Going forward, because I think this week's kind of, I don't know. They have pretty similar matchups from here on out.
Yeah,
as the Buccaneers.
Okay, going forward, I would say Kelvin Benjamin. He's definitely a wide receiver number one on that team. It just all depends on how they're playing that game. Obviously, if they have another game like they played against the Bears, it's going to be atrocious for everyone.
Yeah.
But this game in particular, I wanted to point out that Kelvin Benjamin will be lining up against Brent Grimes, and Brent Grimes has played really well this season.
As long as it's not Vernon Hargreaves.
Yes, I wanted to bring up that too. We'll get to that a little bit later. But so that's why I think Devin Funchess will actually have a better game as far as receiving, and I get just against the Buccaneers. But Christian McCaffrey, I'm going back and looking at what he did, how he's playing. He doesn't look that good.
He doesn't. He's in PPR.
He might actually be too small.
No. I don't. It's nothing about his size, or I think he still has talent to prove.
Yeah.
But I think if you're playing standard, you already get this already. But if you're playing in PPR, his ability to catch the amount of receptions he has masked what he actually is doing.
Yeah. It's
not much.
It's not. You go back and look.
And Cam Newton can't throw the ball.
You look at the quality of his carries and his carries are he cannot break through the line. He gets sat down every time they try to run it with him, which I don't know why they're trying to run it with him, honestly. But even when he's getting receptions and stuff, he doesn't do anything with them.
Well, I think
he's just getting targeted a lot.
Honestly, I think it's just like the perfect storm, or imperfect storm, I should say, for Christian McCaffrey at this point, because Cam Newton is literally the worst quarterback in the league, I think, for Christian McCaffrey.
That's true, yeah.
That's
not his play style at all.
Yeah, for McCaffrey specifically, I think, because one, McCaffrey, Cam can't really throw that well, so they're going to stack the box for McCaffrey. And when he does throw, even if it's a dump off to McCaffrey, he's throwing these
lasers,
fastballs that no one can catch. And obviously, the pick we saw, it was going to Kelvin Benjamin.
Yeah.
But it was like a 2-yard slant, and he threw it 100 miles per hour, popped straight up in the air.
Which is going to happen.
Yeah.
Because no one can catch that.
But I'm not going to dabble too much into this, because everyone knows how I already feel if you listen to the last episode.
But anyway, I actually wish Peyton was here to talk about Christian McCaffrey, because he's been a McCaffrey truther for the whole season.
So is Kevin.
Yeah, yeah, and I would like to hear what their opinion was. But as far as looking at every play that he's done, every touch that he's got, it's been effective. I don't like it.
I've seen nothing impressive.
No.
Yeah. All right, on the Buccaneers side of the ball, Buccaneers they're one of the few teams providing a plethora of fantasy relevant players.
I just wish it was the same for getting wins. But.
Yeah. Jameis obviously had very, very good breakout game last week.
Yeah, and everyone was down on him because of the whole shoulder thing, and everyone was like, well, even if he plays, he could go out. And he just comes out in the second half and just annihilates.
It started bad. It started bad.
Yeah, it did start bad, and I was like, oh my gosh, he really is hurt. But then he shut everyone up and just had one of his best games yet.
Yeah, and Mike Evans, obviously, you know how we feel about him. I will say from the running back perspective, Doug Martin, he needs more carries. If Doug Martin, if he's going to be a fantasy relevant RB1, RB2 guy, and if the Buccaneers plan on starting to win more, because they have to be able to shut out games and they have to grind the ball and be more balanced with Doug Martin.
The thing that's plaguing this is not really fantasy relevant unless you're really into the Buccaneers players. But the thing that's plaguing them is just mistakes on both sides of the ball. They just keep making these crucial mistakes and losing the game. And it's just, we saw it from Adam Humphries. He caught a great pass on what should have been the game-winning drive.
Tre'Davious White. Tre'Davious White, man.
He fumbled it, and then 2 plays later, because of a stupid penalty, they were at the Buccaneers 16-yard line. It was just bad. But that's beside the point.
You need a stress ball over there to calm you down.
It's just it's bad.
I have the Buccaneers winning this game though.
I do. Yeah, I have the Bucs winning it, especially at home. I think this is going to be a really good platform for them to win.
Yeah. All right, we are going super slow today, so I'm going to go through all this. We got 4 more matchups to get through. Yeah. So we're going to go super fast. As much as I want to dabble in all this, Texans and Seahawks. Texans coming off a bye. 2 pretty stout defenses. I expect plenty of fantasy points though.
I do too.
It's the first truly strong defense Deshaun Watson has faced.
Yeah, I'll be really interested to watch him play this game.
I'm still rolling him out there.
Oh, absolutely.
But you kind of have to temper expectations. Are you worried about Lamar Miller or DeAndre Hopkins?
No. I'm not worried.
You got to downgrade him a little bit, don't you?
Yeah, well, I mean, it depends on what you mean by worry. Am I going to sit Lamar Miller, or especially on these bye weeks?
Worry as in, Lamar Miller, I think I have more faith in than DeAndre Hopkins, because DeAndre Hopkins, I assume, is going to go up against Richard Sherman. I think this is going to be kind of like A.J. Green and Joe Hayden last week. I think DeAndre Hopkins is going to have, if he has a good week, it's because he's getting in the end zone.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I agree.
Still not touching the Seahawks backfield.
No.
I was gonna have you rank the pass catchers for the Seahawks, but
Doug Baldwin's number 1.
Yeah. I'll just if you listen to the last show, our waiver wire show, it's just Doug Baldwin. I think Paul Richardson and Tyler Lockett have pretty good upside, and Jimmy Graham. Sorry, forgot to mention him.
Yeah. Yep.
I got the Seahawks winning this one.
This one was tough for me. I actually thought about rolling with Deshaun Watson, but no. At home, I think the Seahawks got it. If they were playing on the road, I would go Texans.
Yeah. Cowboys and Redskins. Yet another important divisional matchup between 2 seemingly unperforming teams. I know Cowboys seemed to get back on track last week or against the 49ers, but it was the 49ers. Zeke will play in this game, so you'll have him another week. Definitely rolling him out there. Josh Norman, he might be back in this game, so if he is...
It'll be feisty.
It will. I love those matchups. Dez and Josh Norman matchups should be nice. If Norman is out there, downgrade. You got to downgrade Dez Bryant.
You have to. Josh Norman is so good at being a shutdown cornerback.
Yeah, from the Redskins side of the ball, should be hopefully... Or it's going to be a good game for Jordan Reed, I believe. Josh Doxson, we'll see if he can actually be that wide receiver X. And Chris Thompson, I think, is the only running back, especially in PPR, that I'm touching.
Oh, golly. For sure.
I got the Cowboys winning this one.
I have the Redskins.
Ooh, it's getting close. Steelers and Lions. Lions coming off a much-needed bye after a few banged-up players. Steelers starting to dominate again on the back of Le'Veon Bell, rightfully so.
Yeah.
Martavis Bryant, we said he was droppable at this point. Juju Smith-Schuster, possible streamer in this game. Steelers have shown that they have a good defense. So the Lions, you might have to temper expectations. I know you mentioned Kenny Golladay in the last show, but this is going to be a tough matchup.
It is tough, yeah.
Golden Tate's dealing with a shoulder injury. He might be back. Not really.
I don't expect him to be.
Yeah, it
doesn't look good.
I got the Steelers pretty much dominating this game.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, but when I think I'm going to pick the Steelers, but talking about the Steelers defense and everything, listen to the stats for the Steelers defense are incredible this weekend. So I'm just going to run through the quarterbacks that they have faced: Deshaun Kaiser, Case Keenum, Mike Glennon, Joe Flacco, Blake Bortles, Alex Smith, and Andy Dalton.
Ugh.
So let's just set the bar right here. Let's say temper expectations. We got to see this going forward.
That's true. Alex Smith has been okay. He did get shut down.
Yeah, well, Smith, the last two, Alex Smith and Andy Dalton have been pretty good.
I wouldn't even say Andy Dalton.
No, yeah, Andy Dalton, not really. But those Those first 5, wow.
Yeah. I like that list there. So you said you have the Steelers winning this one?
Yeah.
All right, Steelers win that one. All right, last matchup, Broncos and Chiefs on Monday night. Yet another divisional matchup with both teams coming off back-to-back losses, surprisingly.
Mm-hmm.
Chiefs look a lot more promising than the Broncos, especially on offense and from a fantasy perspective. C.J. Anderson's still not getting the work he needs. I think it pretty much hurts his value and the Broncos because they just can't get a balanced offense going and they're not moving the ball.
Yeah.
Emmanuel Sanders probably going to be out in this game. Benny Fowler, I think, is a good sneaky play.
I think so, too, because Demaryius Thomas is going to be lined up against Marcus Peters, and we just saw Marcus Peters completely take Michael Crabtree out of the game. He did
Crabtree?
Yeah. It was the Amari Cooper show for sure, because Marcus Peters wasn't covering Amari Cooper. And so, I'm going to be in one of these situations where I have to play Demaryius Thomas because, bye weeks happen. But I definitely don't expect a lot from him. Benny Fowler's going to have a good week, I think.
Yeah. On the Chiefs side of the ball, I still think you're starting Kareem Hunt, Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, even Alex Smith possibly. But you gotta temper your expectations against the Broncos defense.
Alex Smith's a tough start for me.
It is, but you might have to.
I would pick Alex Smith over the streamers you can pick up for free off the waiver wire.
Yeah, I got the Chiefs winning this game.
Chiefs, yep.
Chiefs.
Especially at home.
All right, we are running very, very close on time. Starts and sits of the week. Tell you what, we're just going to go through the starts really quick. We're not even going to go through the sits. If you want to see all these, you can follow us on Twitter at the 423football. That's the best way to get all of our information. We'll go through starts. We'll give you a few sleepers, then we'll close out the show. So we got to do this really fast. Quarterback start of the week. Who you got, Brett?
Tyrod Taylor versus the Raiders.
I like it. I'm going Carson Wentz yet again against the 49ers.
Yeah.
Running back start of the week. Who you got?
Melvin Gordon versus the Patriots.
Love it. LaShawn McCoy, I got starting against the Raiders. I think McCoy's going to have a great second half of the season.
That's good.
Wide receiver start.
Adam Thielen versus the Browns potentially without Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, and hopefully I'm kind of hoping Stephon Diggs does play for Adam Thielen's case because I think McCourty will be back.
Yeah,
and McCourty's probably
if McCourty is back, that'll temper expectations.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with AJ Green against the Colts. Not much thinking there. I mentioned him earlier. Tight end start of the week.
Kyle Rudolph versus the Browns. Same thing we said about Delaney Walker last week. Great matchup for tight ends.
Yeah, I'm going Hunter Henry against the Pats.
Yep.
I don't think the wide receivers for the Chargers are going to do that much, but I think Hunter Henry has a great game, and he's finally solidifying that role away from Antonio Gates.
Yep.
Defense start of the week.
The Eagles versus the 49ers.
Like it. Vikings versus the Browns. Come on.
Fair enough. That's every week.
Yeah, a few sleepers. Let's see. What are some sleepers you have for this week?
I've got Marlon Mack. I think he's... if the Colts know what they're doing, and I mean, they obviously know that they're in trouble this season without Andrew Luck. Marlon Mack has earned a spot in the game plan.
Oh yeah,
going forward, and I think he's a sleeper going forward. And Frank Gore hasn't shown anything this year.
Yeah, a few more sleepers. If you're looking for quarterback streamers, Josh McCown this week against the Falcons, Matt Moore against the Ravens. Jalen Richard against the Bills. I think a lot of people are going to be focusing on DeAndre Washington, so Jalen Richard might be a good option. Kenny Stills, I think you were mentioning before, against the Ravens. I think that could be a good, great play. And then, I guess that's about it for our sleepers. Like I said, we'll have a lot more of these. We were running out of time today. We'll be back on Friday. I don't know. I know Brett won't be on that show. It might just be me, honestly. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at the 423football and Facebook for if you want to see all these starts and sits and waiver wire ads for the week. Subscribe on iTunes, Google Play, and YouTube. Give us a like, leave your comments and reviews, and share us with everyone you know. That's the most important thing. Get the word out there.
Everybody.
We need as much help as we can get. If we're going to keep this thing going, we got to get listeners.
Absolutely.
So, thank you. For those who are listening and those new listeners, we are the 423 Football Podcast.
Peace out.